Hey guys, welcome back to Planet Tyro. We're gonna go back in time and I'm gonna talk about two shows that are related, and one of the shows in particular has just passed its 11th season. Full disclosure, I dropped the show, but I want to speak about both of these medical dramas because they're gonna be remembered. One, I feel like, for negative reasons, and one for much better reasons. I watched both of them, I've done it, so you know what time it is.
Tyro Media presents.
Done it! So I'm going to be talking about Grey's Anatomy and Private Practice. Grey's Anatomy was a 2005 medical drama, is still going on. It was centered around these, 5 or 6 young doctors that were all planning to be surgeons. At the time it was out, well, personally, I was in a phase in my life where I was watching everything on TV because I was doing a part-time job and I just love television. So there was nothing I wasn't watching. So some of my friends are like, I can't believe you're watching that shit. But I don't give a damn. I love media. And this show was very popular at the time because it was about these sexy young surgeons that had just come out of medical school, and there's so much. It was like a sexy, fun narrative. It was like the young doctor show. It was nothing like ER. It wasn't serious. It had serious elements in there, but it was all for the young, good-looking doctors. A lot of angst, a lot of melodrama, blah, 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 blah. The first couple of seasons, it was pretty enjoyable, pretty entertaining, but it was melodramatic, kind of soap opera-ish. And by the 5th season, I just got sick and tired of it. I remember this lady, I can't remember, this lady's character, she got on my goddamn nerves. Some of the love triangles, some of the love garbage, it weighed me down. But I'm not just gonna shit on the show. I think the actors are actually really good. Even to this day, I think the actors and the acting are good. But the script just became ridiculous. And when I stopped watching it, I thought it was ridiculous. But the shit I'm hearing nowadays, that the show is still going on for 11 seasons, I can't believe it. And believe me, guys, people I know personally wouldn't like this show. I know a lot of people that would not like the show. They would not like melodramatic, romance, lovey-dovey garbage. On top of that, you add these seasonal scenarios where every season they had to end on some epic, silly event like explosions or viruses or deaths or very network television-y. It just felt like every season they were starting to do things just to get the audience interested, and it wasn't. The character development became second class to these storylines that had to grip the audience. So it was a ratings monster, you know? And surprisingly, even though the show's still going on, and a little bit of a spoiler warning if you care, if you watch Grey's Anatomy, you probably know this already. This last season, season 11, and I stopped watching it 6 years ago, they killed one of the main characters, and this was meant to be the crutch of the whole show. And just watching the fans just have this negative reaction, even before they had some plane crash where a lot of the other major characters died, a lot of the characters left, a lot of the characters died, and this shit's still going on. Now, most of the fans are crying heresy and this is terrible writing, which I jumped ship ages ago. But the thing is, if you look at the ratings, this show has consistently got the same ratings, except for the first season, which had the highest ratings. Every single season, I think it got 8 to 9 million viewers. So this is a hit for ABC. It's not going anywhere. And I'm gonna just tell you, man, this show is a perfect example of network television catering to just doing these storylines that cater to just bullshit, man. I don't know. I'm trying to be very level-headed on this, but diehards are upset. I jumped off halfway, and I just think this is a bad show now. I'm gonna give Grey's Anatomy. I'm not feeling this. You know, it started off okay, but even when it was good, I even was kind of not ashamed to say I was watching it, but I kind of felt a way to tell people I was watching Grey's Anatomy. Not only because I was a dude, but because the storylines were just ridiculous. And now it's just gone off the cliff into some other garbage. Let's talk about Private Practice. Now, this is the most surprising thing that came out of Grey's Anatomy, because Private Practice is a spin-off of Grey's Anatomy. It deals with one of the characters, Addison. I don't want to get into too much of the spiel of it, but basically, Addison was kind of like one of the characters you didn't like from Grey's Anatomy. She was in a love triangle between the main two characters of Grey's Anatomy, and she left Grey's Anatomy to do her own thing. They had a backdoor pilot, and basically she left to start her own practice with these other group of doctors, And I just want to say, you don't really need to watch Grey's Anatomy to actually watch this show. It helps give you a little bit of the backstory to the main character. But Kate Walsh is a really good actress. She's more of a comedy actress. And she played this really uptight bitch in Grey's Anatomy. So when she moved on her own, and when I saw the pilot to this show, I thought, I wouldn't really want to, why am I going to watch this character? But because they had the pilot in Grey's Anatomy, you already got a taste of what the show was going to be. Now, what I want to say is Grey's Anatomy kind of centered on the late 20s to late 30s, where Private Practice centered on the late 30s to late 40s. So the characters in Private Practice were a lot older. And this was a show of a different demographic, older characters, but there were similarities to this and Grey's Anatomy, but it was a lot more grounded, and it had a lot less spectacle, and to be honest with you, it was a lot more interesting. On top of that, it actually ended. It only ran for 6 seasons. It's a lot shorter. The actors in the show were slightly better than Grey's Anatomy, actually. The storylines were slightly better than Grey's Anatomy, and everything about the show was just better than Grey's Anatomy. It didn't have the fanfare. The plot lines were very interesting, I'm not gonna lie, but the only criticism and praise of the show is that Private Practice was a show of extremes. Some of the storylines in, just like Grey's Anatomy, the extremes in Private Practice were like, they would deal with cases where I asked myself, how come you're getting all these psychotic, crazy elements happen in this one place in Private Practice? There were people, there were serial rapists, there were paedophiles, there were, I don't want to get too much spoilers, there were situations that were so intense, families being murders, just characters being murdered or killed again, babies being born without brains, rapists, but it wasn't done in bad taste. To me, it was done to explore these ideas. So it wasn't done in bad taste like Grey's Anatomy. It just felt like it was done for ratings. Private Practice, it felt like they were doing these story ideas to, let's do an episode that focuses on, it's kind of like House, where they take one concept and they deal with that for an episode, but Private Practice did it in a much more mature way. I enjoyed Private Practice a lot more. The acting was better, the storylines were better. It's short, it's more mature, as I said before, and on the whole, it just ended respectfully. It lasted as long as it should. I would actually recommend Private Practice as a standalone. You don't need to watch Grey's Anatomy at all. This is way better than Grey's Anatomy. It actually ended with respect, and it's actually memorable. It's one of those shows, I think in terms of medical drama, it's going to stand the test of time for what it did as a beginning to end story. So I'm going to give Private Practice a solid B. Honestly, even though I had my problems with it because it was another show of extremes, but if you compare it to Grey's Anatomy, it's far superior, and it's different. I'll give it that much. It did something different, which I appreciated, which I can go on and on about, but just getting back to Grey's Anatomy, what a disappointment. But this is a perfect example of how shows that feed off ratings can live even when their storylines are complete and utter garbage. So the fans can say how much they hate Grey's Anatomy, even though like the main crux of the story is gone now, but the ratings are still good, so the shit is still going on, and to the date of this recording, it got renewed for a 12th season, even when one of the main characters are dead. And when I mean one of the main characters, I mean one half of the show is gone. I hate network television, guys. I really, really do. You know, I love this new age television we're in now. And, you know, I just wanted to get this one off my chest because, as I said before, I'm talking about stuff I've already watched. And it's just a little bit of commentary for me to talk about the evolution of television, because Grey's Anatomy and shows like this, network shows, they're dying now. And I'm fucking glad, I can't lie, because it's just a perfect example of how writers have evolved, because television now is in a whole different space. If they made a medical drama now, I'm expecting a much higher caliber of writing, and I think we're going to see that wherever the next show comes. And even ER is a much superior show, which I want to speak about in future just because I love it so much. Much better. ER is better than both of these shows combined, to be honest with you, but that's a discussion for another day. So guys, thanks for watching another ramble discussion run on Done It, Planet Tyro. Thanks for watching. If you check on the left or right here, you can see annotations to other reviews I do on television, TV, animation shows, everything, whatever. Guys, I would like for you to subscribe, hit that subscribe, and if you liked the video, hit that like button as well. But until the next one, guys, I want to say thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Peace out.